human.
You are human, Mark. Mark, you are human. I'm human. Everybody out there is human. Welcome to Real Inside Sales Talk with Mark and Jason. Happy Halloween, Mark.
Hey, happy Halloween, dude. I hear that we're all going to have some fun on Halloween.
I think we all are. I think we've got fun scheduled on the agenda. It's been a grind, getting through summer, working hard, pushing those late hours, making those calls, following up with those contacts. It's time to let off a little bit of steam. So everybody out there, Halloween's a great time to do that.
Oh, yeah. And I love when Mom and I have to sort through the kids' candy.
Oh, isn't that
Make
awesome?
sure there's no needles or anything in there.
No needles, no razors. Make sure to, I always tax them, I always take out the Whoppers, the Twix.
Dad tax is what we call it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need that stuff. And then they need to learn about paying taxes at the same time,
I always like to stick them with the little black and orange peanut butter twist wads that no one ever eats.
Right.
Or the candy corn.
Right. So we got Halloween coming up. Are you dressing up as anything for work next week on Halloween Day? Do they do that at the office?
To be announced.
To be announced.
Look for us at facebook.com/ISA Talk to find out more about that.
Cool. Well, you talk about, man, how technology has changed. And it's amazing that we can sit here with a microphone, record, and put this out there on the internet for the world to see. When 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was no way. You would have to buy all kinds of equipment. You would have to have, outlay thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. As nowadays, you can spend less than $100, get you a mic, software, a computer, and you can be out there putting content out. That's one thing that a lot of realtor salesman types, I think salespeople in general, just don't do, is utilize how cheap technology to get out their message.
Oh yeah, technology is what grows your business. How big would your business be without the internet?
Right. So, even if you've got a little real estate team you're working on, or you're just a regular realtor, you can get a cheap microphone, take 10, 15 minutes each day to say, okay, here's the new houses on the market, here's the market conditions, if you're looking to buy or sell. Bam, put that thing out there on the internet, let it go. Email it, or send it as a link to your potential leads. Let them know, hey, here's what's going on. Here's a little 5-10 minute segment. Listen to this on your way to the next house you're looking at, the neighborhood that you're driving around to see where you want to live. Listen to this while you're doing that. That is, underutilized, Mark. Underutilized.
The more free value and more content you provide to your audience, the more they're going to follow you. And that's this. Jason and I are following that same marketing strategy right now. We want to provide you with a buttload of free content. That way, when it really gets down to the grind and the dirty nerdy, and you're really considering pulling out your credit card, we're going to make it worth it.
Right. Oh yeah. Always have a plan. And that's the thing that we want to let people know out there is, while you're out there prospecting with your leads, you've got a lot of people to call, right? And that's what we want to talk about on this episode today is how you're making those calls. And one of the ways people make a lot of calls, Mark, over a short period of time is how?
Robocalling. Robocalling.
So let's just define real quick what robocalling is.
Okay, let's say I have a text document with 1 million phone numbers on it. And I don't have the time to bang out 1 million phone calls.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 minute. I'm going to dial a service number, record a message, listen to the message, make sure I'm happy with it.
Right.
And then blast it out to those million numbers. So imagine making 1 million phone calls in less than an hour.
Exactly.
And then just waiting to talk to all the people who are interested on the way back.
You are exactly right, Mark. And before we get too deep into our robocalling, let's pull out the Wikipedia definition of robocalling here. Just that way everybody's on the same page, know what we're talking about. A robocall, this is from Wikipedia. Okay?
Got it right here.
Got it right here, pulled up right in front of me. From Wikipedia, this is the Wikipedia definition of robocall. A robocall is a phone that uses a computerized auto dialer to deliver a pre-recorded message as if from a robot, hence robocall. Robocalls are often associated with political and telemarketing phone campaigns, but can also be used for public service or emergency announcements. Some robocalls use personalized audio message to stimulate an actual personal phone call. That's the definition, Mark, just like you said.
Yeah, and it mentioned events or emergencies. Schools,
School.
Snow day, everyone gets that phone call if they haven't watched the weather the night before.
Yeah.
School's canceled.
Well, can I let you know I'm completely irritated by my kids' school robocalling. It's so annoying. I wish there was a way I could set it up to let them know what messages I want to hear. because they send out, 2 or 3 messages a day sometimes. And it's just wasted droning around. Just,
Well, maybe they would listen to you if you just gave them the idea.
I should go to that next board meeting, man.
And that's another thing. Robocalling. That's why you have different types of robocalls and different drip campaigns for certain robocalls.
Right.
I do that in real estate.
Right. Well, and you make a great, excellent point here, Mark, because we need to separate robocalling, because there are exceptions to robocalling.
When is the right time to robocall, and have salesmen blown it out of proportion and abused it?
Yeah.
And the short answer is yes, we have. Unfortunately, we live in a high-performance world. Everyone wants to be the Wolf of Wall Street nowadays. Everyone wants to be top dog. So people are willing to, break the fourth wall to contact you, whether it's delivering a service to your voicemail and informing you of certain information, if it's video calling, if it's targeted pay-per-click advertising. Like, I can go on YouTube and I can pull up a sales coach. Right. I can watch 3 or 4 of their videos, and for like the next 2 weeks, everywhere I go is that ad on every website.
Well, how do you generate how do you reach out to your leads? All the different ways that you reach out to your leads. I mean, robocalling isn't just the one tool. I mean, you've got other ways to reach out to prospects, right?
Right. So, like, for example, there's good ways to do it and ethical ways to do it. And then there's let's just say there's debatable ways of doing it. I mean, I'm not perfect. I had to make mistakes. So I'm just going to kind of give you the down and dirty. So,
well, real quick, before you give us the down and dirty, let's talk about the different ethics real quick, because one of the reasons big backlash of robocalling was political campaigns. Okay.
Yes.
The other big backlash of political callings is the scam telemarketers out there. Like the people that claim to be, from the IRS, and you need to pay us $1,000 Target gift card right now.
Do not hang up.
Yeah, do not hang up.
Yeah, really intimidating message.
Right. So we've got a difference out there of people who use it ethically.
I'm calling from Microsoft. I see your Internet Explorer may have been hijacked.
Right, exactly.
That was huge.
Exactly. Huge. I mean, and so that's what the kind of the backlash has been about. Now, people in our industry, people in the sales industry, you have a database of people that you have talked to that, say, yes, I want to hear from you. And you throw them into your auto dialer program. There is nothing wrong about that. That's
You're subscribed.
They're subscribed. And like in California, you have to have like a live message, like actually talk to them first before the robocall can commence.
And that's the same way here in Missouri and Texas. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, for example, there's a lot of mass text messaging and mass auto dialing software. The first thing that says is, if this is not a live contact, do not do it. You're going to get sued.
Right. So make sure you got, at least get people's permission somehow, some way out there. There's a lot of ways to do that. We can cover that in another episode sometime. But Mark, down and dirty of the robocalling. Go.
Okay. So in real estate, there's the good and the bad. The good is, let's say you just listed a house. And you're going to tell the owner, you're going to call everyone within a 2-block radius of that house to let them know your house is for sale.
Right.
And if they know someone that's looking to buy, pick their neighbor, mom, dad, your best friend, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, we'll call everybody in 2-block radius. Hey, there's a new house that hit the market. If you know one looking for a house, come see us at the open house or give us a call for more information.
Right.
All right. That's it. That's a pretty ethical thing to do.
And it's done a lot.
Very. And depending, and most people do not mind getting that type of phone call depending on the neighborhood.
Because you're a live person when they pick up. You are you.
When they call
you're
me
not
back,
an automated
it's me.
message.
Yeah, they call it. It's got my personal cell phone number on there. Yeah. I can answer all your questions or set up a showing. Right?
You're not setting up a recording. Hey, this is Mark Bayless. Whoever you are, have you ever thought about selling your home?
And here's the thing too. I told the owner I was going to call everybody and let them know. So I already set that expectation. So I had to get it done. And just because I didn't make 100 phone calls, I did smarter, not harder. That doesn't make me bad. Now, here's another thing. Let's say you just highlight a big portion of your city, and I sorted it like home sellers, renters, etc. Okay.
Yeah. Started slicing the data down into
chop.
Yeah.
All right. And so with that data, not only did it come with the phone numbers, but it came with emails.
Sure.
So if I couldn't hit them with the robo, I could hit them with the drip campaign.
Right.
With the unsubscribe feature.
Sure.
So, what you could do is you could highlight a neighborhood. You could literally say, hey, I'm looking for, hey, you could be you could say something like, we have buyers looking in your neighborhood for homes to sell. As you may be aware, the inventory is really low.
Right.
If you're considering selling within the next 6 months, please give me a call.
Right.
Or even if you're just looking for a free estimate on your home, please give me a call at my name and number, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah.
And then you get a whole bunch of people that call back. How'd you get my number? I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
I had one guy pull up into my
yard
driveway,
or something. Wow.
And then I had 2 guys show up at my office.
No way.
BS.
No way.
Yep. So
Oh,
I
good
put it in.
Lord.
I was like, okay, bad idea. Scratch. We're not doing that anymore.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
You live
I
and
had
you
to
learn.
make my mistakes, right?
Right.
And then also on the flip side, my phone would start ringing. I'm thinking about selling my house. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling my house. Oh yeah, hey, 8 months ago, you left me a message about selling, and I just never got back to you. So I want to let you know I'm still thinking about selling my house. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So,
you're still selling you're still thinking about selling your house?
Okay.
Anyway, they're calling you back.
They're calling me back.
Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way.
And you never know what to expect. But here's the thing. Okay, I called this person. Now I've got to look up their information. How am I going to do that?
Right.
Am I going to go through this notepad file and control F every single thing?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Or am I going to put these in a CRM?
Yeah.
Boing, light bulb goes off, right? So
Vulcan 7.
I actually use 2 CRMs.
Yeah.
So I use
you have to.
Yeah, and I use Vulcan 7, so I imported everything into Vulcan 7, right?
Gotcha.
Like I even called the guy at Vulcan. He's like, I've never met anyone that has this many contacts. I'm like, I've just tried some new tactics here.
That's right. Well,
So like I imported everything to Vulcan 7. So when they called in, I could immediately pull up everything. Hey, I was calling about this house, whatever.
Right.
If it's a good lead, I put it in my second CRM, which was Boomtown at the time.
Right.
Or you could use Conversion or whatever you're using then.
Right.
But you want to have like one CRM to filter out everything. Otherwise, if you have too many leads in your other main CRM, it's going to create a disaster.
well, and it gets to be too much.
It's too much, and you can't create the funnel that you're looking for.
Right,
too
because-
much to maintain with drip campaigns, unsubscribes, everything.
Right, because with robocalling, you want to be smart about it. You know, I mean, you've got where, you can do your big broadcasting campaigns where you're canvassing a neighborhood. You know, then you've got your targeted ones where, like, okay, you need to call all these, potential prospects that have been, that are hot leads, essentially, that are like, okay, they're ready to buy. So I need to make sure I follow up with them at this specific time. So that way, I can dump all those into my, auto dialer and boom, start going through them, connect to them. So you want to be smart, certainly, about your robocalling. I mean, but then you also got to understand some days when you're just like, okay, I had an event over the weekend and I got, 1,000 people to sign up and I got their phone numbers and emails. Well, a lot of those people probably aren't going to remember that they signed up, or that they put in their card for a free drawing. You could have told them, okay, this gives us the right to call you, to contact with you with services. They'll opt in, and then you'll have to remind them, oh, yeah, you were at my event over the weekend, or yeah, you paid a visit to my website. That's how I got your information.
Right, and like robocalling, I think, is an ethical thing. Again, when you're dealing with past clients. So, like for example, old real estate teams I was on, they might have 100, 200, 300 past clients or more. So we'll just record Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy 4th of July, all the main, everything, and we're just doing it to everyone. Everyone's getting that message, so they know that we're still being informed.
Yeah, people don't. I mean, that's the thing. People
And they
don't-
like that.
Well, they do, and people don't. People generally, and in my experience, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 aren't going to mind the intrusion. I mean, generally Americans, we're pretty friendly.
They're
folk.
okay with hitting the button delete.
Yeah, they'll either just like, oh, okay, no, I'm not interested. Bye. But if you want to be a successful salesperson and successful in your industry, you've got to have a way of contacting leads. And sometimes the most effective way, instead of walking each house going door to door, you can throw in 1,000 potential people that you can call. And if you're speaking live to them, there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a couple different ways that this can work too. And this is personal experience. There's been days I've sent out 1,000 robocalls. I had no response.
Right.
None
whatsoever.
Then there was days I sent out 300 and my phone would not stop blowing up. I lost count.
Sure.
And like when everyone's calling you back, you've got to call them back. And
You
you got
do.
to play text tag with everybody. And then next thing you know, your work is already done, but you're at home and your phone is still blowing up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Drunk people calling you at 2 a.m. thinking you were someone else.
Right. Well, that's it. I mean, here's the thing. That's just it. Is especially when you get into like the automation of text messaging and calling.
Sorry, I just want to interject here. Also, when they call back, you need to be able to look up all those phone numbers, add in the data. You need to find out if you need to trash that lead, archive it in a certain category, interested, not interested, DNC, never call again, might get weird.
Yeah.
So call back, repitch in 6 months.
So you've got to have this information in front of you and ready,
you have to
easily
consistently update it.
Easily accessible.
When you robocall, like a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be great, but like sometimes you're going to get a little too much. There was one time I was just like, okay, it's a slow day. I'm trying to generate business. I'm a little desperate here. So I'm going to load up 3,000 leads here, and I'm just going to robocall, right?
Right.
So I clicked it, right? Took 2 hours for the whole thing to go through properly. It had
Holy cow.
Had like an 80% success rate, which is pretty good because sometimes you can have a 20%, a 50%, or a 100% success rate. It just depends. There's a service out there called nomorobo.com that's preventing all of this, which is why we're sharing this with you now.
Right.
Anyway, so I sent out well over 3,000 robocalls, and then my phone just rang. It rang too much to where I couldn't call everybody back.
Well, and you can protect yourself out there too, because
rule of the thumb here is don't do maybe more than 500 at a time.
Right.
Wait a couple hours.
Well, until you get proficient at it, and you've got your leads, organized and categorized to the ones that you are going to expect that response. I mean, if you're calling clients that you have an existing relationship, you're going to want to throw a few less in the dialer than throwing 1,000 in there, because then that's just going to give you a bad, because then you're not going to be able to connect with them. So keep it simple and keep it manageable. Now, if you're loading up a bunch of FISBOs and expireds, you're going to want to run through those.
Okay, so January 1st this year, I robocalled everybody at 7:30 in the morning. I had 5 appointments set by 8:30 in the morning, and then and then I did it again.
Right.
And then I did it again.
Right.
And then I did it again. And then I did and I still do it.
Yeah. I never did call on New Year's Day. I mean, mostly because probably hungover. But I know people were good at it.
I had that fear too. I'm like, these guys are not going to want to talk to me. But like people were selling a house at that point.
Right.
So they're like, wow. This guy didn't go out and party last night. I do need to sell my house. Yeah, let's talk.
Well, and they're sitting around watching TV, hanging out with family. They probably want a distraction. I mean, my God, get me away from my mother-in-law or whatever. Get me away from these cousins that are just driving me crazy. So, Robocon, there's a few ways to protect yourself. In Missouri, you can, if you're a marketing company, you can request register, and you can get a copy of the DNC list.
Yeah.
That way you can cross-match it with your existing database.
And just so you know, there's a lot of programs out there that will not let you import a do not call list. So before you purchase it, you need to contact them and make sure that you can import the do not call list.
So, Mark.
Yes.
Got to protect yourself. There are, like you just said, there are some that don't import the DNC list, and that's a good point. Is check with your CRM that you're using, the dialer, to make sure it does that. Important point, people.
And then, like for real estate agents, it's probably a good idea to download like a big CSV file of all the agents' numbers that are registered in the MLS, so you don't market to them. So,
well, that's a good point. Well, although hell, try to sell them anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Shifty realtors out there. I'd try to sell them. I mean, when I get ready to buy a house, you're going to sell me my house.
So moving on, nomorobo.com.
Right.
You need to know about this. Nomorobo.com. Basically, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all the big wigs out there. They're going to be pretty much providing this service for free to most, if not all, of their clients already or soon.
And that's nomorobo.com?
Yep.
Let's just pull it up here.
Yeah, there's a video. Here you go. Jason's on it right now. It's got a yellow and white and black background. There's a guy telling you a video. It says it's blocked over 800 million
robocalls.
So nomorobo.com is going to be affecting things like Sly Broadcast, Paragon, or Ringless Dialer.
Really?
I have spoken personally with Paragon and Sly Broadcast about it, because what was happening was I was getting too many calls that were not getting delivered properly. And a lot of it, I just want to add, wasn't landlines. And keep in mind, you will get landlines even though you're trying to pay for cell phone numbers. It just happens. There's nothing you can do about that. But nomorobo.com is going to be coming standard, so it's really going to be putting a big dent in the robocalling market.
Right.
Now, this is not going to block emergency services. For example, we had a few weeks ago, we had President Trump he texted everybody on that Tuesday to test out that national alert service. If you remember, it's not going to block out things like schools or emergency tornado, earthquake, whatever.
Right. Well, it says here,
but it's gonna put a dent in the salesman.
Well, it's going to make it more difficult, more challenging. And then you just face stupid fines and all that kind of crap.
It's not worth getting sued and losing your money. And also tune into our next episode because I'm going to tell you how to beat this without robocalling.
Right. Well, and that's just the thing. The robocalling. I mean, I think it's targeted. I think because there are so many scam telemarketers out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just that is the problem.
Yeah.
So many scams, and it gives people like us a bad reputation because we're legitimately calling you. We have a legitimate service and product to sell you. We have an office. We actually do this for a living. We're not out there trying to just rip you off or something. It says here, how does Nomo Robo know which calls to block? And Nomo Robo utilizes a massive, all caps, massive database of known illegal robocallers that we've compiled with the help of the FTC, user reports, and our own honey traps. The blacklist contains over 650,000 robocallers and grows every single day. If the call gets a match in our database, we grab the call. If there's no match, we let the call go through. And we also maintain a growing whitelist of numbers we will never block. So that's where, the presidential alerts, school alerts, etc. go on.
Right. And in fact, I got marked a scammer.
Did you really?
Well, yeah, I was robocalling people. And now here's the thing. Let me back up because I'm using a dirty word. I wasn't robocalling people. What I was using was a service that bypasses your phone ringing and it delivers a message to your voicemail box. So you could never call me up and say, I'm going to sue you because you robocalled me. Well, your phone never rang.
Right. Well,
so that was always like your defense in court. You'd win every time. But now Nomo Robo is actually preventing that. So Nomo Robo is preventing that delivery service from one phone company or one phone account to a voicemail box. Right. The phone has to ring.
Right. Well, here's the big difference. The big thing I think is the difference between, because I don't look at what we do when we're marketing, telemarketing. I mean, when we're calling our leads.
Cold calling.
Yeah, when we're cold calling our leads. I don't look. Yeah,
we
can call it robocalling because yes, that is what we are doing. We are throwing 100 numbers into a dialer and contacting them all. But we have some way, somehow, established a connection with those people. Be it they signed up on our website. Be it we met them at, an open house. Be it that we met them on the street. They got their card, got their phone number, and asked them, hey, do you mind if I call you? That's the thing. You don't want to just go out there. If you're a new realtor, a new salesman, or whatever, you don't just want to go out there and buy a database of, a bunch of numbers.
Learn how to use it.
Or import the phone book into your, dialer and just start dialing people because that will get you in trouble because these people haven't, consented or opted in, to what you're doing. I mean, that's the thing is 99% of, salesmen out there are already going to have, a legitimate trail of how they got your number and your information.
Well, and there's a lot of darkness to that statement too, because there's so many ways that I could be devil's advocate and get around that.
Right.
And it's at the end of the day, you have to think about the social media aspect of what you're doing,
right.
the way you're trying to reach your people, whether it's robocalling or delivering a service to a voicemail box so your phone doesn't ring, or mass text, mass email blast.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's the difference really between calling somebody on the phone and knocking on their door? Think about that. I mean, what's the difference really?
Other than the physical aspect and the mental aspect of driving to and from?
Well, I mean, I think with the phone, people think, okay, that's not really publicly necessarily available.
I would say it's more of a benefit to call someone rather than door knock them, because I get frustrated when people show up to my house that I don't expect to be there, because I might just want to Netflix and chill, and if someone knocks on my door, then it's going to be like, okay, here comes the anxiety attack, here comes the bullshit.
Yeah.
But if I get a phone call, I can look at it and I can be like, ignore.
Well,
just being honest here.
Well, and that's just it. What sort of intrusion are you willing to accept? And everybody has different levels of what they accept.
I think a phone call, if they answer the phone, they kind of are a little bit more willing to listen.
Right.
They've already acknowledged that it's okay.
Right. In my space, I don't like being interrupted without expecting it. Now, if I'm at a store or out in public, I'm a little more receptive to people just chit-chatting or talking to me.
Do you know what the secret to a good joke is? Timing.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Sorry, it went with what you just said. So
that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Robocall. It's an important. It's one of the. Robocalling is just a tool in your toolbox. Know how to use it. Be familiar with the laws in your state. Make sure you've talked to these people in some way, or again, gotten their permission for them to call you. Sometimes you kind of got to do it sly, like, if you buy this raffle ticket, it gives us permission, to call you.
Well, also, let's look at it at the customer service standpoint, because there is so many benefits to the mail delivery to voicemail box system and the robocalling system. Like, I know a good dentist that uses the same robocalling software I do, and it's just to follow up with people. Like he will record a whole bunch of certain messages for certain times, or let's say you get the same client that has the same problem over and over and over and over again. Well, you may as well just pick it out of the database and send it. You don't need to waste your air 1,000 times when you can say it once and then just select it on the computer and hit send.
Well, and if you're going to do massive engagement on a massive scale like that, make sure your content is unique. Make sure your quality in those pitches is unique. Don't just be the same old tired reading a script to somebody, copying and pasting whatever website crap that some company sold you.
Yeah, I've had people say, well, you sounded real genuine and sweet. So
Right. Well, that's a good idea. I mean, one way you can utilize the robocalling is for your existing clients, just like I said, wishing people happy Halloween, happy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
This Sunday,
yeah.
Open house 2 to 4.
There you
Come
go.
See Mark Bayless Realtor at 123 ABC Street. It's gonna be badass.
We're using that. We're going to make a phone call with that. Let's do that. I think just getting super excited about it like that. And nobody would ever do something like that.
Robocalling, it's good for the right reasons, the ethical reasons, helping people. But I think at the end of the day, salesmen and politicians especially have just abused it too much.
Right, and focus on the positives, because just like you said, with people that are offering a service, it's a great way to stay in touch with people without you having to go there and make all the specific calls. Because again, if you want to let people know you're having an open house, if you want to let people know a house that just came on the market, if you're wanting to let people, hey, we've just got this new product in our office, hey, we've just, we've got this sale on, this brand, whatever merchandise, it's a great way to have a kind of a passive, direct contact with them, like a, direct marketing letter. It's a great way to do that, because that way you're not interrupting their flow. It's either a message, that they read on the voicemail, email, text message.
Yeah, and I just wanted to think, I just thought of something. I have a friend, all he does is mow lawns. He robocalls people for lawn business.
Really?
He kills it.
Clean it up with it.
Yeah, I am saying if you want your lawn mowed, $30.
Yeah.
Okay, just call me.
Well, and a lot of, that's the generation we're moving into. I mean, we've had years now where that's how you engage people, is just over the phone, of text messaging.
The bandit signs don't work anymore.
No.
The Facebook ads would go,
So, Mark, robocalling, do you love it or do you hate it?
As someone on the opposite end receiving it, it's an annoyance, but I can deal with it.
Right.
But someone that uses it to feed their family, it's a necessary tool.
Yeah. Robocalling is a tool you've got to leverage.
Or slide dialing.
Right.
Delivering your message without making that phone ring. It's going straight into their voicemail box. You're not getting sued. Everyone's happy.
Well, and that's just the key. The key is engagement with your customer, engagement with your prospect. So robocalling, or calling a large volume of leads every day, is just one tool that you're going to have to manage. It's like having a good CRM. It's like having a good pitch when you're on the phone. It's one of those tools that you've got to have in your toolbox. It's been a good episode, Mark. Where can people find us?
You can find us at facebook.com/ISA Talk, or you can find us at www.realinsidesalestalk.com. That's facebook.com/ISA Talk, or www.realinsidesalestalk.com. Check out vulcan7.com/realinsidesalestalk. That's vulcan7.com/realinsidesalestalk. You get a free 30-day coaching session with me, Mark Bayless. Look for us at YouTube at Real Inside Sales Talk. That's Real Inside Sales Talk at YouTube. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, like us, tell us something. Just go out there, post.
Like, review, and share.
Happy